Ayurvedic approach, which is need of our, and the reason why we invited him for this session. Apart from this, he is a very kind and always ready to help and share his knowledge without any hesitance. So I warmly welcome him and all the scholars, teachers, practitioners, and surgeons for this highly intellectual session. Welcome all. Now I would like to request Dr. Chandrakant to begin with his session.
Okay.
And those
Thank you,
who
Dr.
have
Sara.
Please
Thank
continue.
you. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. First of all, I would like to thank Technoved Ayurved and Brahma Chaitanya for arranging such a webinar on such interesting topic, particularly in these days. Okay, and also in past days, also the Technoved Ayurved and Brahma Chaitanya have arranged some interesting webinars on such type of advancement in Ayurveda. So the subjects and topics are really very good. Am I audible? Am I audible to all of?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All of you? Hello.
Yes, sir. You're audible.
Okay. So once again, I thank for giving me opportunity on talking on this topic, techno research in Shalya Tantra in Ayurveda. Friends, recently the CCIM have done a notification, gazetted notification, and thereby giving permission to the Ayurvedic surgeons, Ayurvedic postgraduates to perform the surgeries. See, this is just the notification. This does not mean that the people, Ayurvedic surgeons are doing surgeries or will do surgeries after this notification. We are doing the surgeries since last so many decades. The people, my seniors, my teachers, and all the other Ayurveda surgeons, they are doing surgeries since last so many decades. This notification has just given the legal protection to the Ayurvedic postgraduates doing surgery. Okay, but the IMA people, they are opposing this. This is the different matter, and the topic today's our topic is not to debate on this on their take, but though we Ayurvedic people, we are just welcoming this decision. We are happy with this decision, but at the same time, it is now necessary for us to do some excellence in our field. See, the person, if he is being operated by the allopathic people, allopathic surgeon, and the another people or another patient who has got operated by the Ayurvedic surgeon, what is the difference? What is our differentness? What is the Ayurvedic part in that? That is very much important, and we will have to prove it. We will have to think about it, that what different we give to the patient, that the patient, in term of patient satisfaction is very much important. And that is why the today's topic is very much important, that what different thing we can do in surgery in Ayurvedic way. Because if few like particularly saying the parasurgical procedures or the Kshar Sutra, which is being practiced widely in fistula in ano, apart from these surgeries, what we are doing, what we people are doing is that we are following the modern way of surgery. And now it is little bit of very casual, that see, the Sushruta has given the basics. I will not take much more time on this, but just
Sir,
I will just
sorry
come
to
to
interrupt you.
the.
Sorry to interrupt,
Yeah.
sir. Please switch on your camera and your presentation also.
Yeah.
It's not visible.
So, yes, my. Oh, sorry, but I was not. Okay, now am I visible?
Just a moment, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir. It's, I think.
Okay, fine. Am I visible to everybody?
Yes, sir. You are visible, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much. So see what we were talking that Ayurveda, Sushruta in at his time did the excellence in surgery. He did, or the surgery was in advanced form at that stage. Okay, he had done the plastic surgeries, laparotomies, every basics of the surgeries are there in Sushruta Samhita. Okay, and the modern peoples, they have developed the modern surgery by that ideas, by that basic fundamental ideas. Okay, so that's why the people are accepting that the Sushruta is the father of surgery, particularly the father of plastic surgery. The Sushruta, which who performed the rhinoplasty procedure, okay, by taking the flap from the forehead, and that gave rise the concept of pedicle flap, which is the most important innovation or step in the field of plastic surgery. By means of that, the people in the modern surgery could develop the plastic surgery, which is the most skillful branch. Now you see people again. There are some references of laparotomies like Chidrodhara in Chikitsastan. He has applied Pipilika Bandha, okay, to perforated bowel. He applied the special type of and the perforated without heat at that time. He had done the basics of surgery with the available resources at that time. These are the references. Now, this was a responsibility as I graduate to develop the somehow it was not possible. There are so many reasons, and this is not a platform actually to discuss all these things because we have our topic is about the scope of techno research. Okay, so
Yes, sir. No, sir. I think there is a network issue. Yes, sir. You're audible. Please keep your camera off only because I think there is a network issue at your end. And project your screen, sir. Presentation.
Please share your PPT.
Yeah,
Dr.
please share.
Chandrakant, please share your PPT.
I think sir is facing some technical issue. Please stay connected. We will sort it out shortly.
hello. Dr. Shrikant,
Yes, sir. Your voice
am I
is
audible?
breaking. Your voice is breaking. I think please shift to the better network
Okay.
area or
Okay. I think, is it clear now?
no, it's still breaking, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fine now.
I think there is some network issue.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
So what I mean to see is that the hello.
Yeah, please share your screen, sir.
Yeah.
Presentation.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is it Is it visible, my screen?
Yes, sir. Please switch to horizontal mode.
Okay, okay.
Yes.
Now, is it clear?
Yeah, just start it, sir. The play
Okay.
button.
Okay. Yeah, I will play.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
So, see, the basics have been given in the Sushruta Samhita. What mattered is that the followers of Sushruta, the graduates of Ayurveda, they somewhere failed to develop these basic things. Like, see, suppose the Sushruta has given the reference about the surgery of the bladder stone, okay, urinary bladder stone, and he used to remove that stone from the perineal root, okay, and now in the development of the urology, particularly say the surgery of the prostate gland, now which is being done, the 4 types of surgeries have been given in the modern science. That is from the suprapubic root, from the perineal root also, and the most recently practiced procedure is uh, TURP, transurethral resection of prostate. So the Milan's procedure, in which he has he used to remove the prostate, enlarged prostate through perineal route, was also practiced. So he did the experimentation. The similar by a similar route, Sushruta used to bladder stones. But now, due to some reasons, we the people of Ayurveda were not able to develop this type of approaches. They are by the Sushruta. Okay. The idea of the rhinoplasty by taking the flap from the forehead is there in the Sushruta, but we failed to develop this concept as a specialized branch of the surgery. And modern people, they took this idea and they developed it. Okay. So what I mean to say is that there is constantly a need in research, not only in the Shalya Tantra, in other branches of the Ayurveda also. And this is but obvious that there is constantly a need for research in every faculty, because due to the research, the science will develop. Okay, so that is what I meant to say. But just sticking to today's subject, what are the scope of the techno research? What is the scope of the research? Okay, that I wanted to concentrate, emphasize. See, we just have to see what are the Ayurvedic approaches towards the surgery, because the people will ask you as an Ayurvedic surgeon what you are doing, what is the Ayurvedic portion of your surgery. That is more important, and that is what I am going to focus in today's lecture. So in Sushruta Samhita Sutrasthan 5, he has given 3: Purva Karma, Pradhan Karma, Paschat Karma, which is similarly employed in the modern surgery also. So in Purva Karma, what Ayurvedic approach we can take? So here again, in Purva Karma, it comes about the patient's preparation, doctor's preparation, and OT preparation. Okay, am I audible clearly? Okay. Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Clearly audible and visible too.
Yeah. Okay, okay. Thank you.
Please switch to
You
full screen mode.
please tell me in between. Yeah. Because I am just talking and I don't know whether I am audible or invisible
Yes,
or
sir.
not.
You are audible and your
So
presentation is
you see,
also visible. Please switch to the full screen mode. Start this presentation.
yeah,
Present
it
on
is
this
in full
device.
screen. Okay,
Yes, sir. It's perfect now.
okay. Thank you. So in Purva Karma, we think about the patient's preparation, doctor's preparation, and OT preparation also. Okay. So what we do in Ayurvedic point of view, what we will have to do, we will have to examine the patient by Ayurvedic approach. Here you will have to think about the Nadi, Mala, Mutra of the patient, Ashtavit Pariksha, then Dashvit Pariksha, the Dushya, Desh, Kalbal, all that things which comes in the Dashvit Pariksha and Shadvit Pariksha, apart from the conventional examination methods. So here you will have to think about the prakriti of the patient, sattva of the patient, and by means of these, you will have to think about the post-operative management and also what type of approach you are going to employ for the surgical management of the patient. That will be decided by Ayurvedic examination. And definitely we will have to take a help of modern diagnostic tools also. Okay, so if the patient is having udar shula, abdominal pain, so here you will have to go for the USG of the patient also. You will have to you will need ultrasound of the abdomen, pelvis, but you will think in a Ayurvedic way, Ayurvedic, and you will have to come to a Ayurvedic diagnosis for the patient. What happens, or what after studying the Sushruta Samhita, what we come to know is that Sushruta's approach was more of conservative and not of the surgery. Surgery is the last resort. Whatever we have seen in Sushruta Samhita, in every diseases, he employed or he used the surgery as the last resort. Some diseases are there where directly the surgery have been advocated by the Sushruta. Okay, so by Ayurvedic mean you will have to come to the diagnosis, then the part preparation of the patient. Again, the local area which is being operated, which will be operated, should be prepared properly. It should be shaved, and what I mean to say is that you should go for the Snehan and Swedan of the local part. Like suppose the patient is subjected for the hernia surgery or the surgery hydrocele surgery, there if you locally if you just give the Snehan and Swedan, so the post-operative healing of the wound will be of more easy. Okay, so we will have to imply all these things. So patient who will be for hernia, if the patient is being operated by the modern surgeon, he will just straight away take the patient to the OT after initial assessment, and he will take incision and do the surgery. Ayurvedic people, they will prepare the local part. Apart from just the shaving of the part, he will just make by doing this Snehan and Swedan, the soothing of the part will be done, and this will result in ease of surgery. Definitely this will result, the skin there will become smooth. Okay, and the same thing, the part preparation is advocated in plastic surgery. If you have to take a graft from a donor, the donor side have to be prepared. You will have to make it smooth. You have to hydrate it. You have to apply the soothing lotions. Okay, so in the similar way, before every surgery, if you do this local Snehan Swedan, that will be of benefit to the patient. So this is the differentness of the Ayurveda surgery. We can do this type of interventions. And again, the NBM status. Now if we are doing the surgery under modern anesthesia, maybe it regional anesthesia, depending on the case, or general anesthesia, we need the patient kneel orally. But Sushruta has advocated, because there were no anesthetic measures at that time. In some diseases, the Sushruta has advocated that the patient should be kneel orally, and otherwise he should take because the while doing the surgery, the patient should not go in synco. Okay, so mostly he used to give the patient heavy diet, and also used to give the patient a strong wine also. Okay, so Mood Garbha, Arsha Udar, Ashmari, these are some diseases where the patient should be abhukt, or he should not take anything by mouth. It has been given by the Sushruta Samhita, but nowadays we will have to follow the modern rules. Okay, so here we can't do anything, but wherever possible, we should do. We should implement the Ayurvedic measures in the management, in the surgical management of the patient. Again, the physician's fitness. Okay, this is very much important. If the patient is above the age of 35 or 40, we will have to take the physician's fitness. We will have to look for his cardiorespiratory status. But by Ayurvedic approach, because the surgeon should be a good physician first. If the patient is having any surgical disease, before subjecting him to the surgery, we ourselves should think that whether the patient is fit for the surgery or not. Okay, whether he is very much weak, his dhatu portion is good or not, the concept of sapta dhatu, the concept of agni, that should be implemented, his agni should be good. Okay, so these are some Ayurvedic approaches in the preparation of the patient. Again, doctor's preparation, he should maintain his hygiene. This is the modern procedure, or the modern in modern also they have given, and Ayurveda have given the qualities of surgeon. Shauryam ashu kriya, asvednam vepathu. Okay, so he should have daring to do the surgery fast. Okay, ashu kriya, he should implement or imply the surgeries fast. Okay, so these are the qualities that one should acquire, that the Sushruta has given. And he should be drashta karma. The surgeon should be drashta karma. He should have done proper practices on the what we say, the practice of incision should be done on the fruits. Okay, and all the Ashtavit Shastra Karma that the Sushruta has mentioned, he has given the Yoga Vidhi, where should he practice for which type of Shastra Karma. Okay, so that should be practiced by the Ayurvedic persons, Ayurvedic surgeons. Okay, then OT preparation again. So OT preparation, we just have to fumigate the OT. Again, nowadays the fumigation, now they have changed. Okay, routinely the fumigation was being done by the formalin, formaldehyde, formalin, where is being poured over the potassium permanganate. The fumes are being formed, and that gaseous fumigation will kill all the bacteria, viruses in the OT media. But now what the modern science, after much studies, they come to know that this formalin have carcinogenic effect. So, and now they are using hydrogen peroxide and silverams and the other fogging techniques by which they do the sterilization of the OT environment. But we can use our Rakshognagan drugs like Agru, Chandan, Neem. Okay, to see these drugs, if we do the Dhupan karma of the operation theater, this will definitely act nicely and will kill bacteria. And researches have been done. There are some studies where they have suggested that this procedure definitely works and keeps the environment of the OT sterile. Okay, sterilization of the instrument. Now we use the sterilized instrument by means of autoclave. Okay, so the concept of sterilization is there in Ayurveda also, because the Sushruta and Dalrama, they have advocated that before using the shastra or instrument for surgery, that should be made sterile, agnitapta. They have said that if we do not make the instrument sterile, okay, if we do not give red heat to the instrument and just use it for surgery, there will be suppuration in the wound. Now, if you just look at the history of the modern surgery, it can be divided into two parts: surgery before Lister and surgery after Lister. So, surgery before Lister, there was no actually sterilization or the aseptic precaution. The concept of aseptic precaution was not there. This is the Lister who advocated the use of aseptic precaution, like wearing a sterile gown, part preparation, painting and draping of the operative part, then surgeons cleaning, scrubbing of the hand, all these things, wearing of gloves. These aseptic precautions before doing surgery or while surgery is advocated by the Lister. Before Lister, there were so many instances of the uh, suppuration and sepsis in post-operative period. So this concept has been given by the Sushruta. Now, you see, just dry heat, giving dry heat or flaming, which is advocated by the Sushruta. With now, instead of that, if we are using the sterile instrument by means of autoclaving procedure, which is being employed today by the modern ways, modern surgeon, because in autoclaving procedure we use the steam for the sterilization, and steam has a very good latent heat. Okay, so latent heat penetrates the instruments to the deeper level and kills the bacteria, viruses, and all the microorganisms. So it makes the instruments and drapes sterile. So we can use that also. Okay, so whatever is good in modern we will have to use, and whatever is good in Ayurveda we will have to implement in it. So by integrating these two sciences we can do something good for the patient, for the society. So it is definitely, the integration is the need of the hour nowadays. Okay, so collection of necessary instruments the Sushruta has taken, that is Agropaharniya Adhyay, which he has said is while operating the surgeon, operating the patient, operating on patient, and in post-operative period, whatever you will be needed for dressing purpose or while operating the instruments, whatever you need, that should be first collected. That should be made ready for the use. Okay, so this type of clear-cut instructions have been given by the Sushruta. Okay, now operative procedure. Now what are the specials or what special procedures the Ayurvedic surgeons do apart from the Anushalya Karma? Because Anushalya Karma, Shar, Agni, Jaloka, that is not there in the modern surgery. And these are the uniqueness or unique procedures given in the Sushrut Samhita. And this is the beauty of Ayurveda. Okay, so by means of Agni Karma, we can do so many things like pain management, some surgical diseases that can also be managed by means of Agni Karma. Okay, Jaloka Charan, this is the extensive research is being done, and mostly the modern peoples are doing good research in Jaloka Charan, and we people also are using the Jaloka for various medico-surgical procedures like cellulitis, okay, or in peripheral arterial diseases. There, the use of Jalokacharan is very good, but still the Siraved is not extensively, is not properly used by the Ayurvedic physicians and surgeons nowadays. This is the need that we should use these procedures very widely, okay, and to draw some fruitful conclusions. The people are doing, they are getting good results also, but extensive work is necessary. Okay, Shar Karma is also a parasurgical procedure, and it is the uniqueness of the Ayurveda. The Shar Sutra, Pachisarniyak Shar means the application of Shar on the internal hemorrhoid. The results are very good with the Kshar Karma, Pratisarniya Kshar. Okay, the results are equally or more than the sclerotherapy, which is being employed in the second degree and first degree internal hemorrhoids. So if you apply the Kshar, the results are very good. Now, the modern procedures that have been told in the Sushruta, like for Mutra Ruddhi or Hydrocele, he has just advocated the removal or Vedhan Karma, removal of the hydrocele fluid. Okay, but by just removing, or what we call it as a tapping, there will be recurrence in the hydrocele. So we will have to adapt this. Okay, now if the proper research was being done by using this idea, the tapping of hydrocele fluid, what we will have to, we would have come to know that there is recurrence. Okay, so we will have to study in detail the anatomy. Okay, we will have to study the proper physiology. Okay, that the tunica vaginalis, which is secreting the fluid, okay, that is causing the collection again and again. So we will have to evert that part, secretory part, okay, and that will be absorbed by the inner side of the scrotal skin. Okay, so now this is the research done by the modern people. Okay, so we'll have to adopt this, because the surgery that has been given, or surgery for the hydrocele which is given by the Sushruta, is causing recurrence. So we will have to adopt these things. Okay, now this is important for the development of the science. Okay, so we will have to do the research. Okay, so I'll come to the research areas. The next point is about the adaptation of the surgery. But Sushruta, what surgeries he has done was developed at that time. Okay, simple incision and drainage procedure that has been given by the Sushruta, and clear-cut indications and the guidelines have been given by the Sushruta that how the incision should be and when to do incision and drainage in an abscess or the Vranashotha or Vidradi. Okay, in Vakfa Vranashotha or in Vidradi, he has advocated to do Patan Karma, that is incision and drainage. So how should we do it? How should be the incision? That it should be the ayatascha vishalascha suvibhakto nirashraya. It should be adequately large. Okay, suvibhakta. It should be adequately large and should clear the field underlying structures. And nirashraya, it should not be on the vital organs or on marmasthana, on vital structures. He has advocated it. Nirashraya means it should not be on the nerves or arteries. That this is the meaning by the nirashraya. These are the clear-cut indication, and it should be ayatascha vishalascha. That means it should be adequate. It should be big enough to bring out all the contents, pus. Okay, so this is what the Sushruta has told. But the incision and the famous method of the incision drainage is Hilton's method. Okay, then modified Hilton's method. He has made the name. Okay, Sushruta's name is not there. This is the Sushruta's method of incision and drainage. The procedure is same. What he has said, he has just called that you have to drain out all the content which are there in the abscess. So the same things are there. But whatever is advocated by the Sushruta, that by that idea, the modern people, they develop their surgery, and we people are what they are saying now, that we are following them just. So now what has happened, they have gone so far with the help of science and technology, basic sciences. They have developed tremendous progress. Okay, so we will have to use that techniques. Okay, so the Karna Sandhan, Nasa Sandhan, Oshta Sandhan, these are the basics of the plastic surgery that have been given in the social science. And Ayurveda is a healing science. Okay, the wound management that has been advocated by the Sushruta by 60 procedure in Shashti Upakramas in the management of wound, this should be widely followed by the Ayurvedic peoples for the management of wounds. So there are very many wounds, topical wounds, venous ulcers, okay, arterial ulcers, which refuses to heal, which takes a lot of time for healing. So we should extensively use this type of these 60 procedures that have been advocated by the Sushruta. This is necessary for us. Okay. So the surgery of bowel preparation that has been given in Chikitsa 14. Also for the obstruction, yes, here the Sushruta used to do the laparotomies by a particular type of incision. He used to do a left paramedian, the leptotomy by left paramedian incision. But now, by the advent of the basic sciences, by the progress in the basic sciences in radiology, we can know where the pathology is, where is the obstruction by X-ray, and depending on the site of obstruction, we can plan the incision on the abdomen. Otherwise, the Sushruta used to do the leptotomy by left paramedian incision. Okay. So we will have to do this type of modification. We will have to adapt the modern procedures, and that we are doing. Okay. So this is how. Now the most important thing is post-operative. So the management, post-operative management of the patient may vary tremendously. The post-operative management done by the modern surgeon and post-operative management done by the Ayurveda surgeon. Definitely, there should be and there is a difference. Okay. In post-operative period, the patient have to take antibiotics, analgesics, definitely, and some multivitamins they add. Okay. So here what I want to say is that the antibiotics definitely are necessary, but the rational use of antibiotic is very, very important. In India, by the modern people also, and this is the bitter fact that we Ayurvedic people also, we are using the antibiotics very much. That is not rational. The rational use of antibiotic is okay, that is justified. But here we can have our Ayurvedic approach. We can minimize the use of antibiotics. Okay. See, skin is the best dressing. The participants who have joined the attendees, they must be having interest, and they must be the Ayurvedic surgeons. I can understand. Skin is the best dressing. Whenever you make incision over the skin, it opens the way for the microorganisms, and that can cause sepsis. So antibiotic is necessary. But if you take proper precautions, if you take proper precautions in the pre-operative period, if you prepare the skin properly, if you operate the patient by using all aseptic precautions, just a single dose of antibiotic will suffice. Okay, if you drain the abscess properly, adequately, there is hardly any need of antibiotic in post-operative period. I have done some cases where the antibiotics were not given in the post-operative period and the recovery was very well. Okay, just simply we can think that if we just do the procedure by Kshar Sutra in fistula nano, there is absolutely no need of antibiotic. Okay, the similar things we can do if we just remove the cyst, corn, or any minor procedure. If you are doing, there is hardly any need of antibiotic. If you take the post-operative care or the wound care properly, if you take the aseptic precaution properly, then there will not be any use of antibiotic, definitely. But to prevent the sepsis, it is our responsibility to supplement the patient with some immunity boosters. Okay, so our immune system will fight with the microorganisms. The immunity boosters which are present, which are there in Ayurveda, are not in other sciences. Okay, so proper diet of the patient, Giloy, Sukshma Trifla, Gandhak Rasayan, these are some products, these are some formulations in Ayurveda which can definitely prevent the sepsis. And there are some studies done by PGs and at some PG institutes that they have managed the cases nicely without antibiotic. Or before just beginning the surgery, like if you are doing hydrocele or hernia surgery, you just give one shot of antibiotic prior to the surgery. So in post-operative period, if you do not give the IV antibiotics, that will be sufficient, that there will not be any sepsis in the wound if you take proper precautions. So now this is the responsibility of the Ayurvedic people to do this type of work extensively. This is now our responsibility. Okay, and then only we can present in front of the people, in front of the modern people, that the antibiotics unnecessarily that they are using can be stopped. And WHO has given a warning that the irrational use of antibiotics should be stopped because this is causing resistance to the antibiotic. Okay, new strains of bacteria or microorganisms are being developed which are resistant to the traditional antibiotic. Okay, so antibiotic is not the answer. Antibiotic is not the answer, definitely. So we must use the antibiotic rationally. We must minimize the use of antibiotic. Again, similarly, the analgesic. Definitely, the post-operative pain after any surgery is unavoidable, but by proper counseling to the patient and by some Ayurvedic methods. Some Ayurvedic methods means the pain is due to the vitiated vata. Here, the surgical trauma which is occurring at the site of surgery site, that is causing vitiation of vata. So by pouring the lukewarm Yashtimaduprat or by giving the enema or basti of Narayan tel, Bala tel, we can reduce the intensity of the pain. Just immediately after surgery, after weaning from the anesthesia, after the effect of anesthesia goes, the patient will start severe pain. In that condition, the patient may require modern analgesics in the initial few hours because the pain is too much. Okay, and in Ayurveda there are no strong analgesics. Recently, now I am working on it and I am pursuing my PhD degree. I am doing my PhD on post-operative pain management. Okay, so I have prepared one formulation from selective herbs like Sallaki, Nirgundi. These have analgesic and anti-inflammatory property. There are 7 herbs in my preparations, and so many animal experimentations have been done on the single herbs, and it has given good results. They have established the analgesics and anti-inflammatory property of these drugs by the hydroalcoholic extracts like Guduchi, Yashtimadhu, then Sallaki, Nirgundi. By using these herbs, I have prepared a polyherbal formulation and the results are quite good. Only in severe pain, the patient needs modern analgesics in the form of diclofenac or Quantramol. But see, flat way or just prescribing the analgesic for 8 to 10 days to the patient, modern analgesics is not good because that may harm to the patient. The adverse effects of modern NSAIDs or opioids are known to the body. Okay, so to minimize the adverse effects, it is need of an hour to find some herbal ways in controlling the post-operative pain. So I am getting good results in the pain management by using this polyherbal formulation. In the similar way, we can use the another Ayurvedic approaches like doing basti that I have told you, or using some another herbs which have analgesic property. Now we will have to use the technology. We will have to use the basic sciences. We will have to establish, like for antibiotic, we are using Gandhak, we can use Gandhak Rasayan, Sushma Triphala. For improving the increasing the immunity, we can use Guruchi. So we will have to do the in vitro study of these molecules of these herbs. We will have to do some derive some extracts of these herbs. Okay, and we will have to prove antibiotic properties of herbs. We will have to prove analgesic properties of herbs in vitro, then in vivo animal experimentations, and then this will these products or these formulations can be used in human beings also. So we will have to adapt the modern research methodology for establishing the proper effects of water. This is the need of it. Now diet. This is very much important. The Ayurveda, the whatever the Ayurveda has given to the world is how to live the life. Dinacharya and Ahar and Vihar. Dincharya, Rutucharya. These are the gift of the Ayurveda to the world. Okay, so what type of diet should be the patient take? Okay, because after surgery in post-operative period, or the modern surgeon they suggest or we people also suggest to take a light diet. Okay, but Ayurveda, as they have given the concept of Manda, Peya, Vilepi, these are very important. By giving step by step diet to the patient will increase his Agni. That's what I mean. Okay, this has been educated in post-op after Panchakarma like Virichan, Vaman. Okay, but the same thing can be implemented in post-operative period also. So if a patient has been operated for the perforated intestinal perforation, perforated ulcer, enteric perforation, anything, or laparotomy, the patient will need a light diet, and here we can suggest them the Ayurvedic diet like Manda, Peya. The patient will not know how to prepare it. So it is now the responsibility of our people who are doing PGs in Rasa Shastra or our pharmacy, that the ready to cook food should be available to the patient. And I congratulate my friend Dr. Sarang Deshpande. He has made available this in the market, ready to cook food like Manda, Peya, and Vilepi. How to prepare it? Just the method have been given. Okay, you just add this much water to this much quantity of the packet, and Manda will be there, Peya will be there. So that will be helpful for patient to increase his Agni, to increase his appetite. Also, that will balance the what we say electrolytes, that will give energy to the patient, and that will help in fast recovery of the patient. So this specific specialized diet should be prescribed by the Ayurvedic surgeons to the patients. And definitely, if you by using this type of approach, if you see the patient satisfaction score of the patient operated by the Ayurvedic surgeon and patient satisfaction score of the patient by allopathic people, definitely the satisfaction of the patient would be more in patients who is being operated by the Ayurvedic surgeon, definitely. Because the Dincharya, if or whatever the Sushruta has educated the rules for the wounded person or the person who is in surgery ward. Okay, Ranitagar, that he has given Ranitopasni Adhyay. Okay, so he has given how the patient, how the wounded person should behave. He should not sleep in daytime. He should not awake. He should go to bed early. Okay, because sleeping in the daytime may cause clay formation in the wound, that will result in itching to the wound. that will result in more pain to the wound, that will result in poor surgical outcome. Okay. So following all these rules, if you ask the patient to take proper rest, okay, so patient will recover soon. Okay. So by using the Ayurvedic methods, we can take care of the wound also. Okay. So what are the research area in Ayurveda? So definitely we need to do research, because see, uh, what, for example, suppose the Sushruta has advocated Shar Sutra ligation in fistula. Now, this taking this concept in BHU, Dr. P.J. Deshpande sir and Dr. Udupi, they have developed how should the Shar Sutra be applied in fistula strike. They just simply used to apply the Shar Sutra. They used to probe the wound, okay, and the Shar Sutra was being applied from the external opening. It was being drawn out from the internal opening, and it was tied outside the anal canal. Okay, and frequently the patient would have to come for changing the thread. This is extensively done by all the Ayurvedic surgeons, and it has become a gold standard treatment for high anal fistulas nowadays. Okay, but by using this method, what are the drawbacks? That it takes too much time, and changing of the Shar Sutra is also a very painful thing. Now it is the need of an hour to find some alternative, because the patient would have to come for months together, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, or sometimes the patient will have to visit the Ayurvedic surgeon for changing the thread for years together also. So this is the drawback. This is the drawback of that of this therapy. Okay. So what Dr. Sahu sir, who is now the emeritus professor there, Dr. Manoranjan Sahu, he has developed his technique like IFTAC, interception of fistulous tract and application of Shar Sutra. The procedure is somewhat similar with the technique of lift, ligation of intersphincteric tract, fistulous tract. Okay, so there, this procedure is sphincter sparing procedure, lift procedure. Here, what the Sahu sir has developed the IFTAC technique. He used to intercept the fistulous tract at the external sphincter level and apply the Shar Sutra over that area only in the proximal part. The part of fistula which is there, which is communicating with the anal canal, and the remaining distal part can be left as it is, because the source of infection will not be continued. Okay, the source of infection is the infected anal gland. This is what the concept, eradication of infectious anal gland, is important. And the Shar Sutra, if applied properly there, it will cause eradication of anal gland and will suffice the purpose. So no need to cut the whole tract, no matter how much is the long track is. Okay, so this type of innovations should be extensively done by the people. This is of its the unique and very good approach developed by the Manoranjan Sahu sir. And this is now also called as BHU method, because it's developed in the Banaras Hindu University. Okay. Now for Agni Karma, what Sushruta has advocated the Agni Karma Shalaka. Apart from that, we can have the help of modern science. Okay, like engineering, technology, by means of which we can just see that how much energy or how much Agni or temperature should be there. Okay, we can just generate that type of heat. We can just do the electrocautery. Okay, that also can be used. So what should be the timing for burning a particular area? These all should be, these are the research areas of Ayurveda. This should be done. Rakta Mokshana should be. Using leech application after skin grafting to prevent the hematoma formation. This Ayurvedic, the modern plastic surgeons, they use leech. Okay, leech application can be done in various inflammatory conditions that can help in wound healing, and that can help in reducing the wound. Okay, so in cellulitis, like so many cellulitis patients, the patient have to subject for the fasciotomy incisions. But if you use the leech, that leeches can reduce the surgery. Okay, so conservative approach is what the Sushruta has given to us, that can be adopted, and definitely people will come to us. Okay, if they come to know that the modern surgeon has suggested a cellulitis patient to go for fasciotomy incision, and we just applied the leeches to the patient, and the surgery that can be avoided, the patient will be happy. Okay, so this is how we can just prove our uniqueness. We can give something better to the society. Okay. So this is what I just want to tell you, that conservative, how we can have a conservative approach towards the management of some surgical diseases. Okay, now Uttar Basti is again uniqueness that can be seen in Ayurveda. So Uttar Basti is by our people is now being used for the urethral stricture. So, so many patients who have been suggested a surgery, urethroplasty for urethral stricture, can be cured or very nicely managed by use of the Uttar Basti. The people are using it, but it is the need of an hour to use it extensively. So Uttar Basti is not being used by everybody. Some people are only using, some Ayurvedic surgeons are only using the Uttar Basti. Oh, this is our need. Okay, that we should use it. So many patients who have been operated for the urethral stricture by urethroplasty, they again develop the similar type of complaints. These people can also get good results with Uttar Basti. Again, the Uttar Basti is also very helpful in reducing the irritative symptoms of BPH. In benign prostate management, the frequency, urgency, this can be prevented, or this can be cured by means of Uttar Basti. So many patients are there in our OPD, they come for the Uttar Basti, and we have given the PG topics, research topic for the PG students also there, and the results are quite good. Okay, so we should do with these procedures. We should come forward with this procedure and should establish some protocols in the management of the urological symptoms also. Okay, so adopting Shashti Upakramas in wound management, this I have told you that this is the uniqueness of the Sushruta. See, the modern surgery, whatever development they have done with the help of the basic sciences like physics, chemistry, and biology, the basics in the surgery, in the experimental surgery, whatever the development is being done is due to the research in the healing procedure. Okay, the wound healing methods. And Sushruta has given very good emphasis on the healing methods of the wound. Shashti Upakrama is one of the example that the Sushruta has given for the management of wound. Okay, management of peripheral arterial diseases of Ayurveda. This is also very important approach in the Ayurvedic people can do good in peripheral arterial diseases we can prevent. I have ample number of cases where the patient have been suggested amputation by the modern surgeons just by applying the leech, just by giving the pressure uvula. The patient gets cured, their amputation is prevented. So there are so many examples, and our people are doing this, but we need to do it extensively. What I mean to say is that we people are doing the procedures, but we need to do it extensively. We need to do it in a different way, and we will have to present it. Okay, the presentation is also a very much important thing, because we are doing the things, we are preventing the amputation, we are managing the diabetic foot very nicely, but we are not presenting at the international platforms, and that is why we are just lagging behind, and that is why these modern people, they are criticizing us. They are saying that we are just using their science. But this has been given in our science, and we are doing it differently by just with the help of their methods, but by Ayurvedic approach. This is very important. Okay. Then there is some Marma Chikitsa that is not particularly is given by the Sushruta, but some cranial manipulations and osteopathy, these also can be tried. Okay. So what I meant to say, we need to integrate these things. So if the patient is having sciatica pain, and if you apply some sort of manipulation technique, and if the patient gets some sort of relief, the people who do Marma Chikitsa, which is extensively followed in the south. Okay, so you do this type of osteopathy techniques and the patient get relief. So we need to integrate all these things. So orthopedics in the Ayurveda, that can also be developed by these techniques also. Okay. So finally, what I want to say is the integration, a need of an hour. Definitely, and WHO also says that integration is a need of an hour. We can do very much good. We can serve society by integrating our science with modern science, and the modern science developed with the help of the modern surgical techniques are developed over last few years, and due to by taking ideas from the Ayurveda. This is the fact. Okay. So that people just say, what will you do by the Ayurvedic process, particularly the Ayurvedic approach? If they will come and say you just remove the appendix by Ayurvedic way, so this is not possible. Okay, so that is the procedures are established now. Now this is established by that people. Okay. So Sushruta at his time did advanced surgeries with the help of resources whatever present at that time. Okay, now we will have to integrate these techniques with the help of modern science, and we'll have to do some research. This is the most important thing. Okay, thank you very much for patience hearing. I think I touched the topic whatever was given to me, and whatever was possible for me, I just expressed my views. See what Sushruta has given us. He has given us the fundamentals of the surgery. We will have to use that fundamental things to develop our ways of the surgery with the help of modern science. The help of modern science is very much necessary. Okay, like at his time, he used to do Siraved by means of Kutharika, by cutting the vein or the uh, uh, bone. Now we can use scalpel. If that modern people will say that this scalpel doesn't belong to Ayurveda, this is not good. Whatever we are doing is the procedure that have been advocated by the Sushruta, but by some different way. Okay. Now the Sushruta has given the way of Alabu, Rakta Mokshan by means of Alabu. by creating a vacuum at a local site, by means, instead of using that, if you are using the cuppings like that they do in Unani Hizama, so that we can use instead of uh, Alabu. Okay, so these are the techniques that we can use. Okay, and there is no sense that they are saying that you this is not fair by any means, that we people are doing surgery. Okay, so there is no point in saying that. India has given the modern world zero. Okay, if we remove that zero, zero means that, that zero in algebra. Okay, so what will happen? There will so many equations will be fed. So zero is very important. So if we remove that fundamentals from the modern surgery will not. Right? So development definitely takes over some fundamental rules or some fundamental ideas. That is what I meant to say. Okay. Thank you very much for patience hearing. And I think if anybody has any doubts or suggestions, okay, so platform is open for discussion.
Thank you very much. Thank you very
Thank you
much
very
for
much.
such an informative session, sir. Now I would like to invite Sarang Deshpande, sir, for question answer session.
Thank you, Dr. Sir. It was a nice and intellectual session. You clearly stated the importance and uniqueness of Ayurvedic fundamentals, integration, what is needed and what is the need of our, and most importantly, the attitude and the research mind what we Ayurved people must have. Because
Yes.
though the decision of CCIM is very welcoming, but it
Yes.
also creates a lots of responsibilities on the minds of not only on the minds of only surgery peoples, but on the minds of entire Ayurveda fraternity. So every fraternity in terms of doing research in the sectors of in the surgical sectors, like cellular people should do research in the operatives methods. Rasa Shastra people should look for various remedies which can be used in different steps of surgical procedures, and the Swasthvrutta peoples means every fraternity has work to do. Not only the Sharli people, but every fraternity has work to do. So it was a very, very nice intellectual sessions. So I would ask the attendees if they have any questions or queries, or they want to say something regarding this session or this speech. If they have any suggestions, all are welcome. I would like to ask one thing, Dr. Chandrakant. What will be your take-home message for the PG scholars and PhD scholars regarding these interventions? What intervention they should adopt?
This is very much important thing, because the PGs or PhDs who are pursuing the PG degree or PhD degree, these people should do extensive work. Okay, they should have research approach, and the universities who are giving which are giving these degrees, like in Maharashtra MHS is there, and other universities are also there. They have given in their curriculum the research methodology, statistic, all these are the subjects. They should do it seriously, and all this is also a responsibility of the PG teachers to impart the good knowledge and good surgical practices to our students. This is responsibility of the colleges, institutes also, and the PGs. It is the responsibility of the students who are doing post graduation in surgery. They should do it very seriously. They should do extensive work, and the guides who are giving the topic should be fruitful, and they should do it sincerely. This is very much important thing, because the basic ideas which are given in the Sushruta Samhita, that should be explored properly. Okay, and step by step the work should be done. Like if a particular guide or particular teacher is there, and some 2 or 3 students are under him, so he should give topics to them in such a way that suppose they are working on a particular herb, that how it heals, the healing property of a particular herb, or the anti-inflammatory property of a particular herb. So one student should do in vitro study, other student he should give the same topic to that another student to do in vivo study, and the third student he will conduct a clinical trial. Okay, so this is the need of an hour, that a clinical trials, extensive clinical trials should be done. Also some unique procedures which are there mentioned in the Ayurveda should also extensively tried. Okay, so this is important. And as the CCM has drawn the notification, and this is a very good decision. Now it is responsibility of the educational institutes to train the students nicely, to make everything available to that students also. Okay. So this is what I want to say.
Yes, definitely, sir. And I would like to tell all the attendees that Dr. Chandrakant has done all the surgical procedures in his institute very nicely and in a very typical Ayurvedic approach. And he is famous in that periphery for doing such types of surgeries and implementing such types of Ayurvedic approaches in the institutions. So I think there are no further any queries. So I would like to thank all the participants, all the teachers, all the scholars, all the practitioners, all the some government employees, medical officers have also joined these session, and some participants from out of Maharashtra have also attended this session. So it was a very nice session, sir. And being a part of Technovest Solution, I assure all the attendees that we will go on conducting such types of techno sessions to
this is again very much important.
To educate and to facilitate the attendees also, and to the speakers also. So it was a very nice session, sir. I again thank you, because in a very short notice you welcomed our invitations and make your time available to us. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Dr. Srikanth, please conclude the session.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. Now, before concluding this session, I have a very important announcement to all of you. Tomorrow, that is on Sunday morning at 11 a.m., we are organizing another workshop. It will be a workshop where all the participants will be actively involved in the certificate generation workshop. Basically, this workshop is related to the report generation or any data generation where your base format is common, just like in the certificate, where your certificate base, the design is common and the name changes. Similarly, this type of work can be done in the report generation, we can say mark list generation. So we are organizing this workshop tomorrow. those who have to register for this, I have sent the link in the chat box, so you can register for our. Here we conclude our today's session. In case of any query, please contact on our Technoved Solutions website and our contact numbers that you already have. Thank you. Thank you very much, all of you. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you again. Thank you very much, all of you. Thank you.